Hi, so I wanted to talk quickly, as quick as I can, about a concept I found very useful, which originally is something I noticed myself in the playing of sort of all the great musicians of the sort of functional jazz era. So I'm thinking about people like Charlie Parker, Lester Young, Django Reinhardt, Charlie Christian, Sonny Rollins, Miles Davis, etc., 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 all those guys. And it's a concept I've not heard much talked about, but I did come across a good name for it in an essay by Steve Coleman, the sort of very influential modern saxophonist, who I will attach a link to below, the article in question. And this he calls it invisible paths, and I really like that term. Okay, so what does he mean by that? Well, I think, and I think Steve Coleman thinks as well, if I've understood his essay correctly, is that in jazz changers playing, there are certain points which you can choose to be like your destination points. And then the process of getting to those destination points, you have ways you can go, and you can go very directly, or you can take kind of wandering paths, or you can just sort of cut straight through the underbrush, or maybe go really circuitously around a long way, or whatever it is. But the point is that eventually you will arrive at that destination, and you can make rhythmic changes to where you arrive at the destination and everything else. But harmonically, what you're doing might not necessarily have a vertical relationship to the original chord progression, right? So I'll just give you a very, very simple idea. So if I'm playing a 12-bar blues, 1, 2, 3, 4, 1, 2, 3, 4. It's a very simple one. To E flat 7, 2, 3, 4, B flat, 4, 1, 2, 3, 4, C minor, F7, B flat. Very simple, right? Most people are familiar with that. That's really just very, very simple 12-bar blues. Now, you have a number of ways you can get, for instance, back from the E flat 7 chord to the B flat chord. So you could go, now you've got an option of going to an E diminished 7th, for instance, and then maybe you could use a 6 to go to the C minor F7. Most people are familiar with that variation, I think, but then there's other ways you could do it. You could go E flat 7, E flat minor, or A flat 7, sharp 11th, or maybe you could play both, and then back to B flat 6, and maybe I could put a D flat diminished in there. So these are all substitutions, and if you're playing these along with the original song, you might want to be aware of what the melody is doing over the top. Now, when it comes to soloing, you have freedom, right? And what I just want to demonstrate is that you can actually play these things against each other because they resolve, and you don't need to worry too much about the vertical ramifications, okay? As long as you play that in your line and you resolve at a point of your choosing and your hearing, you can get away with playing things that don't relate to each other over the top. So I'm just going to start with a fairly simple example, which is, let me have a listen to this B flat blues backing track. This is off Learn Jazz Standards, which I'll attach a link to below. Now he's just staying on E flat 7 for that. So we're going to use the E flat minor variant. Listen to this. E flat minor. Let's do diminish next time. Okay, so there's a few different variations there. You might notice me using a tritone sub as well. Now, both of those variations work really well over the E flat 7. You can play E flat going up to E diminished, you can play E flat minor, A flat 7, but you could even, God forbid, play E flat 7 like in the backing track. Now, this is a very, very simple, tame idea, but I just want to say that you've got many, many different possibilities for adding to your circuitous paths around the changes. Now, one thing you could do, for instance, is you could play a turnaround on the B flat chord, the first chord. So you go. So you could do something like that. Even though the changes aren't doing that underneath, it might sound really good. Let's give it a go. That's an example. Okay, but what about, say we wanted to play like, I don't know, let's do blues Faradas changes over the top. So in that case, we go to B flat. This is usually blues Faradas is played in F. I'm transposing it to the key of B flat. Go B flat, A half diminished D7, G minor, and then we go B flat 7 into E flat major. We play these two fives going down like this, and then back into that, right? So I'll just stop probably. I just want to demonstrate how this works. Feel free to pop a comment below if you need me to spell out the changes for that bit. But I just want to whiz on and show you what it sounds like. How about this? So I'm doing quite a few different things there. One thing I want to draw attention to is I was playing this. But you could go into the next change. So what I'm doing there is I'm just playing a series of descending 2 5s, starting on the 3, 6, flat 3, flat 6, 2, 5, and then this is a tritone 7 to E flat. It's another invisible pathway. I'll just play that again. So you can hear, hopefully, that this is a really good way to develop interesting lines. I'm not thinking about the underlying harmonic relationships at all. I'm just playing chord progressions that I find interesting. I mean, could we play giant steps? So if I play giant steps, I'll say that would be, I don't know, let's see. We could use that thing, for example. So we're going to G. So we're going to let's see how that sounds. Okay. I didn't like how I did that. Let's try that again. Maybe I might get it a little bit better. A little bit more outside, right? But nobody's. This is the sort of thing where you think like, it's kind of an outside sort of thing, maybe a little bit, but because it still has a tonal focus, it's still coming back to the B flat, it has a sense of resolution. So that's a sort of demonstration of how far you can go with that. Now, this isn't limited simply to playing, say, blues. Let me give you another example. I'm going to play. Let's see. Let's do a version of All of Me. Just because that's kind of one of the most sort of standard kind of jazz standards. And I'm going to play a set of changes which are different from stock ones. Actually, let's do this one. So what I'm going to do is, instead of playing, I'm going to play C major, I'm going to play E minor. I'm going to go down a half step, Maybe that's not so good. Oh, what I'll do is I'll go to E, start E minor, E7, and then maybe it's a little bit trickier actually. Yeah, I could do a turnaround on that actually. And then no, actually, I'm going to do something else. I'm going to play there one of the B, another U, and I'm going to change the changes. So instead of going to the relative minor, I'm just going to stay in E flat. Sorry, it's in E flat, not F. So instead of doing that, I'm just going to go. I'm going to play tritone sub into A flat, and then instead of playing A flat minor, I'm going to play A diminished, and then we come back to, and then a traditional kind of 2/5 like in the original changes. This is what it sounds like. So a couple of things there which you wouldn't normally get. Actually, I did something else I didn't talk about, which is I played the diminished going into the E flat, so E flat diminished going to E flat major. Very, very commonplace. But the thing I really wanted to sort of demonstrate is the fact that I can play, because we're going from E flat 7, A flat. Now, original change is A flat minor because that fits the melody. But if I go, it doesn't fit the melody, right? So that's why we use the minor, not the A diminished. But the A diminished, in fact, is a perfectly good pathway back into the E flat. Let's have another listen. Sorry, wrong key. E flat. Let's do it minor this time. So yeah, so hopefully you can hear that, because the logic of that arpeggio, the outright arpeggio is playing. That is enough to make the vertical relationship between what the piano is comping and the guitar to be absolutely fine, because it creates a tension, and then it sort of furiously resolves into the E flat. So it sounds good, I think. I mean, you might differ. Anyway, so to apply it to the sort of general case of a 2-5-1, let's find a 2-5-1 play along. C major 2-5-1-6. Let's try this. What I'm going to do is I'm going to play F diminished C. It's quite tension, but it works. Can add it in with the minor, diminished, and so on. So, I mean, what does this mean for you? Well, it means you can play anything over anything, really, provided you know when you're going to resolve. It gives you a way of playing over. I mean, one tune I used to find very hard was. Well, let's take an example of China Boy, for instance, this old swing standard, where you have, really a massive, great big stretch of F, and we're going to play some turnarounds over it. Right? So I'll just do that again. So what I'm going to do is I'm going to play A minor, A flat 7, G minor, C7, F over that first, and I'm going to make each change last for a bar, and that'll give me an extra bar at the end to get into the D7, I think. Yeah, that's one thing I did there, which I didn't do very well actually, was I did just a conventional resolution with a dominant 7th chord going into F, whereas actually in the original music it's got a B flat minor there. Another thing I could do is I could try using that F diminished stroke B flat. I could go B flat major, B flat diminished into F. That might work. Anyway, getting a bit stuck there, but it gives you an idea. And I would sort of encourage you to be really, really kind of out and creative in what you do harmonically over tunes, as long as you know to resolve. Anyway, thanks for watching, and I hope you find that interesting. I find this concept very useful. By the way, the one that I use the most, and I'm just going to whip back to the minor 2-5-1 thing, it's this sound, F major, F minor. So do it again, so F major 7th. Anyway, thanks for watching.